previous audio, I discussed the difference between people who do the wrong things for the right reason and the people who do the right things for the wrong reason. Let me elaborate a little bit more about that scenario because I want to talk about the people who are placing judgment in either case. A good way for you to find out whether or not someone is in your corner is based on how they react when you do something wrong, how they react when you're at your lowest. See how they behave. Are they willing to investigate? Are they willing to come to you? Are they willing to roll up their sleeves and get a little dirty? Are they willing to speak on your behalf and not against you? Are they willing to make that sacrifice? If they had taken the time to know you as a person, and all of a sudden you committed this act that was out of character, common sense would tell the people who really know you that something was amiss and that you needed additional help, regardless of what the situation may be. Now, if there was a certain pattern of behavior that led up to this, if this was something that you did repeatedly, that's a different story. But if somebody does something that's out of the blue, they wouldn't be so quick to judge. The first thing that would come to their mind is why and what can I do to help? Those are the only two questions that those people would ask themselves. However, other people who don't know that person very well base their entire judgment of this person on third-hand information. People who never had any true and real interactions with this person, they'll be the first ones to point their fingers. The very first. See, they're basing their entire perception of that person on something that they never really encountered. They base it on what somebody says and what that other somebody says. And little do they realize that the person who's given the report probably didn't have that close of relationship to the person involved. They're just saying things to be saying things. I spoke in a previous audio about how some people just feel that they have to be the center of attention and will do anything to make sure that they stay the center of attention, and that includes filing a false report against someone that they were supposed to be responsible for. Someone that they're supposed to be responsible for, and I don't mean financially or anything like that. I'm talking about someone that was close to them that they were supposed to have an emotional connection with, and they know deep down that they've never had an emotional connection with them. So when other persons ask this person about that person during their time of trouble, this person, instead of just admitting that they don't know what's going on because of their lack of due diligence in that person's life, they will sit there and they will give false report. They want to save face. It doesn't matter that this person's going through hell. What's most important is if they save face, how they look to everybody. That tells you what type of people exist. And I know some of you know what you're talking about. Let's say that you went through a situation. Let's say that you were going to college. You were having a hard time going to college. This is just a hypothetical. And let's say that you just quit going to classes because, either your finances are messed up, or you were trying to get over a bad relationship, or your health was bad, and you dropped out. But you didn't tell anybody you dropped out. It comes out eventually that you did drop out. Now, people close to you, they're going to ask why. They're going to wonder what they need to do to help you. They're going to try to find out your situation. And because of that approach to you, you're more likely to trust that person than you are anybody else because of the way they approached you in regards to your problem. That's what I'm trying to say, people. If there's someone that's close to you that is in trouble, the way you approach them can determine whether or not they can trust you later on. Because for all you know, this could be a temporary situation. And when they come out on the other side, they're going to remember how you treated them. And their lack of trust during that situation when they were at that lowest, that's not going to disappear. Now, the situation itself could have disappeared. It could have resolved itself. But that lack of trust that was established because of your reaction during their time of need, that lack of trust is going to linger for a very, very long time, if not forever. So before you're quick to point your finger at somebody about you did this and you did that and you did this and you did that, understand that that situation that they're involved in is only a temporary situation. You don't know what's going through that person's mind or anything. They just might need a little bit of a boost. They might need a little bit of help and might need someone to get their hands dirty and to help them out of it because they're emotionally drained and do not have the wherewithal to handle it by themselves. They're asking for help. And when the dust settles and it's all over with, and that person's moved on, and that situation is a part of the past, they're going to remember who they were able to trust in their time of need. And that's going to last forever. It could be years later on down the road, and that person that you were once close to, but because they failed you in your time of need, you'll never have that close relationship with them again. And that's for some people. And some of you, even though you might choose to forgive that person, you're only going to do it on a limited basis because you're still going to know in the back of your mind that you were shown their true character in your time of need. Anything could have happened to you. But see, people don't see it that way. People say all the time, you find out who was really for you when you're down at your lowest and you have nothing. And that is the truth. I don't care what anybody tells you, that's the truth. And every single one of us, if you're breathing on this earth, goes through a hard time. Now, the flip side of that is if you're one of those people that was down there when they were at their lowest, you've got, if anything, you've increased the bond that you had before you went through what you went through. You're willing to go through fire for that person. Through fire. And also, that person could be useful to you not only because they helped you in your time of trouble, but they'll also let you know who was against you in your time of trouble. They'll divulge anything and everything. They'll pitch hit for you while you were suffering. They were probably praying for you when you didn't know that they were praying for you. They were probably defending you when you didn't know that they were defending you. And it always comes out in the end who was for you and who was against you. So I just wanted to elaborate on that because it's not so much what you do and the reason why you do it, but it's others' reactions towards it. This is a defining point where you could decide who's for you and who's against you. And if it's a situation where you're in a relationship that cannot be easily severed with a person who has betrayed you, keep your distance. Keep your distance. Regardless of how anybody begs or pleads and wants to create this kumbaya moment or anything, it doesn't matter. Because they showed you who they were. And that's all you needed to see. And for a lot of us, it hurts at first. But deep down, we kind of knew. We just didn't want it to be true. So I hope this helps somebody. I don't know why this was on my heart. But as I stated before, this is a channel where we have real conversations about situations in life. And I'm not going to speak about anything that I didn't go through myself. I'm not going to provide the gory details, but I had to learn this firsthand as well.